Hey guys, so I'm going to do a video kind of going over how to do the 21 Day Fix Extreme Countdown to Competition plan, which is basically like a carb cycling plan to really hone in on clean eating, but also can actually help with kind of kickstarting some weight loss and kind of toning up. The plan is also called the Countdown to Competition because it is kind of what competitors do a lot of times when they're training to compete. Towards the end of their training, they do kind of a carb cycle and or carb depletion to really kind of get rid of any excess weight and anything that your body's kind of holding on to. It's kind of like a detox. So I wanted to kind of cover it a little bit because I've had a couple of you ask me kind of how to lose maybe some belly weight or kind of just lean up, or if you're kind of at a plateau and you're kind of wondering what can I do next, this is kind of the next step. If you followed the 21 Day Fix plan for a while and you're kind of, feel like you can't really tweak it anymore and you're kind of really wanting to maybe get a few more results, or you're kind of looking for something else, this is what I recommend. So wanted to kind of go over it quickly. I know some of you may even have this, but maybe you haven't really looked into kind of how it works as far as going to the extreme version. So first of all, when you're just doing the regular extreme, you're following the 21 Day Fix plan without any cheats. So you're not allowing for a glass of wine by taking out a carb, or you're not allowing for dessert by taking out a carb or two carbs. This is strict and it is meant to be super clean for 21 days. So that's part of why it's extreme. But when you go to the countdown to competition part, it's even more extreme. So I wanted to kind of go over a little bit of how the format of this plan is. So this calendar kind of breaks it down a little bit, and I'll show you this, and then I'll show you kind of the plan in the booklet to know how to figure out how much you're supposed to eat. But basically for 21 days, you see here day one, you're doing a countdown to competition plan, and then for 2 days, and then for day 3, you're going back to the extreme plan, and then 2 days on the competition, 1 day on the extreme, and so on. So you're following that pattern, and at the end, you're doing 3 days of the extreme, or the countdown to competition part of the plan right before you wrap up the 21 days. So the difference between just the clean eating and doing the competition plan has to do with your carbs. And so because it is a carb cycling, it really means that you are going to be at some point eliminating most of your carbs. You're still going to have some, but you're going to be eliminating your normal carb intake. So you can see here briefly, so you've got your container count here, and then depending on which calorie bracket you're in, and see the colors of the columns, those are going to be the difference between the regular plan and then the countdown to competition. And then the chart, remember how I showed you here? So that correlates with this. So what you're going to want to do is look at the calorie bracket you are in based on the formula that you figured for the 21 Day Fix, and then that'll tell you how many of these containers you're going to incorporate into your meal for those days while you're doing this clean eating part. So for example, on the day when you're doing a competition plan, you are not eating any fruit, and you're going to be eating a lot more carbs or proteins than you're used to. You're going to be eating about half as many carbs and no good fats and no seeds, and just you're actually going to be eating more tablespoons because you're not eating the good fats. But this is a big part of the plan. You don't want to skip that. So kind of gives you a basic overview of how that works. So you're going to incorporate that into a week. So like here's an example of a planner, so you could write it out to plan it for the week, so that you know how many of each container you're gonna want to get in. The hard part, honestly, is eating that many proteins in a day. And for me, I struggle with the carbs just because I feel like my body really does crave them and or need them. My metabolism runs pretty high, so I feel like I burn them fast, and if I'm only getting 1 or 2, I feel like, and without the fruit, it's essential that you make sure you get the proteins and the veggies, and try to eat the proteins and the veggies together because they help your body absorb the nutrition from them. So that's kind of a basic overview. If you are looking to seriously button up your eating and your nutrition, this is probably going to be the next step. But you want to make sure that you're following it to the best of your ability. I know it's, like I said, it's intense and you may struggle with it. And if you do, don't force it. You may have to tweak it for your own, and however it works for you. But it takes a few days to kind of get into, the new eating plan and kind of the rhythm of how to get all those foods in, especially when you're eating so many proteins. So go back and review, this video. If you don't have this 21-Day Fix Extreme booklet, I can take some snapshots of these couple of photos or these couple of charts for you so that you can have a visual of that. But I think I'm going to try and start, I don't know if I'm going to start next week or the second week in October, but I might tweak mine a little bit just because I'm not necessarily looking to lose anything, but I would like to kind of button up my eating. So I think the note sheet and the kind of cleaned up eating plan is going to be a good way to go. So let me know if you're interested in doing this with me, or if you want some more information on this. I'm going to share, because I've had a couple of you ask about it, but wanted to give a quick overview in a video, and then I can try and provide sample meal plans and kind of suggestions throughout the next couple of weeks to kind of help you get more in tune to kind of how to do this, because it's kind of tricky. So hope that makes sense. Wanted to give an overview about that because I know the carb cycling people have talked about, maybe not sure what it is, or you're curious about it. That's how Autumn's program is intended. There are different versions of the carb cycling, and some are much more extreme, some are, it just depends. But this is kind of an in-between, I think. Still extreme, but I think it could be more extreme if you were to follow some other programs out there. So hope that helps, and let me know if you have any other questions on that.